Hello and welcome back to the TVcast, the show where we don't talk about movies, we talk about TV shows or streaming shows. The very sporadic spin-off series of the Spoilercast.
We still don't care about spoiling things, though.
Of course, we don't care about spoiling things. So if you, for some reason, have only heard of this show, the TVcast, we have a much better show, I suppose?
Well, more organized.
More regular. Yeah, more organized, more regular show called the Spoilercast. Check that out. We talk about movies there.
Yes.
We also have a Patreon where you can get exclusive episodes of this. We did an exclusive Patreon pilot for this show.
Yes.
Episode.
Yeah.
We're never releasing that. And we're never watching that show again. But there's also exclusive episodes of the Spoilercast. There is early access to some episodes, commentary tracks, a bunch of stuff. Also, you support the greatest podcast network in the world. Please don't make a scene. Beyond all that, today we're talking about not a new show. So far, we've only done new shows all the time. We're going back to talk about the House of the Dragon.
Yes,
God
there's no the.
damn.
Stop with the the.
All the names of TV shows nowadays are so bad.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
This one is
House of the Dragon instead of Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon.
Technically, it has an upper title, which is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon. But whatever.
Wouldn't it just be better to call it House of Dragons? I mean, come on.
No, because they call it the House of the Dragon. It's the dragon always. There's only one dragon on their sigil.
And then one show, which we're probably going to do in the near future, Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Like, what is that title? Anyway.
Enough
today, of all that.
We're doing episode 4, 5, 6, and 7 of House of the Dragon, because that's easiest for us.
Yeah. So, where did we leave off in episode 3? Because I haven't seen that since it released.
Yeah, no, me neither. Let me see. Episode 3 is... Oh, it's the one with the crab feeder dude. The very random crab feeder stepstones or whatever it was called. Battle.
Yeah, where they battle with the Crab King.
Yeah.
And his crab people.
And
at the stepstones.
Yeah. And Aegon turns to, the baby. Which wasn't a baby for long. And Rhaenyra gets, she gets told that she will have to get married, basically.
Yes, which is the big thing in the early episodes.
Yes.
So, moving on to the 4th episode.
Episode 4 is when Rhaenyra is, she's going through all the suitors, all the eligible men that her father has... arranged, I suppose. Yeah,
and we get to meet a Lannister.
Yes,
or I guess technically 2 Lannisters, played by one guy because they're twins.
Right. Oh, we met one of them before, haven't we? He's been in in the
hunting episode.
Scenes.
Yeah, right. And that guy, I recognize him from somewhere, but I couldn't place him, and now I don't remember because I found out, but I don't. He's in some other TV show or movie or whatever. He's
I'm sure he is.
Anyway, yeah. So, but obviously, she doesn't want to just marry some guy for political, clout or whatever.
She wants a little bit of
love. Yeah,
at least a little bit.
Yeah, and in the last couple of episodes, since they introduced Sir Criston Cole, who is her sworn protector.
Yes.
It's obvious, that they're kind of warming up to each other, even though he is taken a vow. He cannot.
They also, beyond the show, they've paired those two in a lot of promotional things.
Oh yeah.
So they've been feeding it that way too, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's also in the 4th episode that Daemon comes back. He's decided to stop being a petulant fucking brat.
Well, he did win the battle of the Crab King, whatever, and he comes back sort of, victorious.
Yes.
So he's coming to brag, basically.
Basically, but it's also he stops trying to get the throne. Basically, he's like whatever. Which is I gotta say. The first few episodes are kind of all over the place when it comes to that.
Yes.
it feels like they're kind of rushing to like put in stuff that might be like in the lore or something, because we gotta fit that in. It feels
a little
almost
bit,
like, I'm not
a
sure,
little bit. Yes.
I haven't really read too much of Game of Thrones. I think we mentioned this. I've only read the first 2 books, and
I didn't even
watched,
finish
like,
the first one.
Yeah, I've only seen like the first 3 seasons or something. I actually started watching it again to get through all of it, just to be up to speed when I keep watching House of the Dragon.
So you can maybe get some of the references and Easter eggs, perhaps.
To see, because people talked a lot about like, there's a lot of fan service. I'm like, I don't get it because I haven't seen the original. But I gotta say, and I know that is like one of the most like celebrated TV shows of all time. Maybe it was because I watched it in a short amount of time, but still, I watched 3 seasons of that. And I was in the middle of the 3rd season, like episode 5, and I was just like, why the fuck am I watching this? It's just fucking garbage, and I just turned it off.
It's very messy.
Yeah, I want to briefly talk about that, and that was a problem I had with the show at the time as well, because I did watch it a little bit when it first premiered, because it was around the time that we got HBO Nordic here in Sweden, so we could actually watch it as
it that's premiered. True. They kind of released it at the same time, yeah.
Yeah. And that show, for all its like set designs and costumes and frankly pretty good special effects for a TV show, especially 10 years old at this point.
Oh yes.
At least the first season is 12 years old. It is not very well written. It's kind of like video game writing.
Yes.
Where people confuse like quantity with quality. Like, we have lots of flowery dialogue, that means it's good. So, no, the dialogue is just flowery. It's not. It doesn't have any content.
Yeah.
Like, we have many characters. Yeah, but a lot of them are superfluous, and many of them are just not interesting.
I think we talked about this in the last episode as well, that Game of Thrones is it's the middle ground between Rings of Power and House of the Dragon, because yes, we have amazing set designs everywhere, we have pretty good acting everywhere. I'm not gonna complain.
No, they have very good acting in Game of
Thrones. Rings of Power have very separate storylines.
Yes.
House of the Dragon has pretty condensed storyline. It's
basically one main storyline with little offshoots.
Game of Thrones has a bunch of storylines, but they're all at least connected pretty tightly.
Yeah, but even that falls apart.
Yes, it does fall apart towards the later seasons.
Yeah, and then I know that it comes together in the end. Yeah, but I've heard so much bad stuff about the last 2 seasons, and I probably will never watch those.
There's also too many storylines that kind of just fiddle out. They just disappear, more or less. Which there aren't characters that we really care about, because we only care about a few characters, to be honest.
Yeah, and this is also coming from someone who hasn't finished this show, so maybe I'm wrong. Someone have to... if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment that I'm wrong and I'm stupid and I'm gay or whatever.
If you're watching it anywhere else, you can tweet at us.
Exactly, yes. There is a Linktree link down below. But like my biggest pet peeve when it comes to unnecessary characters, you have Alfie Allen's character, the ward who is from the Iron Islands.
Yes, I keep forgetting his name.
Yeah, I forget his name. He's kind of like, he's part of the family, basically. I mean, he's technically just a glorified hostage because of the Iron Islands rebellion. But the other Stark children, they like him well enough.
Greyjoy, Theon Greyjoy.
Theon Greyjoy, thank you. Especially Robb, has taken to him even more, maybe like Jon even. At that point. Yeah,
they've become brothers, basically, because he grew up with them.
Yeah,
sure,
and
it was.
Yeah, it was a problematic way to
surrender him.
Yeah, exactly. And he, he's always that, like, kind of a dissenting voice in the background, which is, and I thought that was the character, and he was going to just follow along. He's not important. He's a second, a second character. That's fine, because, there's supposed to be so many characters. But then in I think it's the third season, he gets his own fucking plotline where he, during the war in the North, or the war of whatever they call it.
Yeah. I don't remember.
He's like, I can go to my father in the Iron Islands and tell him to join up in the battle against the Lannisters or whatever. We can march on King's Landing. But then he comes there, and he's like, no, now we've come back, and his father fucking hates him for some reason, even though he hasn't done anything. His sister tricks him into doing some vile fucking shit. Just like, why the hell would you do that? And then he like tries to
redeem himself.
Redeem himself, assert himself. Like, no, I don't like the Starks. I have a plan to take over Winterfell. It's easy now. No one's there. I can take it with like 20 men. And then we have this like several episodes where he just goes, takes over Winterfell, kills fucking Maester Luwine and the guy with the weird facial hair.
Yeah.
Bunch of characters who you kind of like, even though they're very small characters. He just kills them off. They burn down Winterfell. And then his men just turn on him, and they start torturing him for no reason. And I was just like, what is the point of all this? What was the point of all this? Other than, I guess that was the thing that got, like, Bran and Hodor and the Wildling woman, whatever her name is, and Rickon, get them to, like, leave Winterfell. But they could have done that in another, like...
Yeah, I know. It's I
understand that...
It's probably in the book, though.
It is in the book. I remember that in the book. But, like we talked... There's a difference in writing between books and movies, and books and TV shows. There needs to be more immediacy. There needs to be more succinct writing in a movie. Even in a TV show, even if you have 10 hours to tell one long story, you need to be more succinct.
In a book, in a movie, you have, or a TV show, you have pictures, and pictures say 1,000 words, or whatever you call it, say. Yes. While in a book, you have to describe everything. So of course you will have to like literally write out and tell you what happens.
I was just that was my biggest frustration, and the whole spending so much time with the tall lady, Brienne of Tarth.
Yes.
Tarth. Brienne of Tarth, taking Jaime Lannister in secret away from Robb Stark's camp or prison, and get him back to King's Landing so that they can get Sansa back, as sort of a prisoner exchange or hostage exchange. Yeah, and like nothing of importance happens on that trip. There's a bunch of scenes of them walking, and they keep reiterating the same character traits over and over. It's not like they start liking each other or something important happens. No. Nothing happens.
I mean, you get a little bit...
Yeah, just cut to when they get there, or they get captured again. So, whatever. But
I mean, you get a little bit... then. You get a little bit of character or relationship development between them, obviously. And you get a reason for her to, I guess, turn around and go after Arya instead of Sansa. But it's very long.
It's so much back and forth. It's very long. Yeah, very long.
However...
And I know that's... Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
House of Dragon does not have that issue, really.
House of the Dragon has none of those issues because it's a one central storyline. It's Rhaenyra.
It's the succession of King Viserys.
Exactly. And everyone involved with that. Yeah. So it's the new queen. Her real Targaryen children, even though they're technically only half Targaryen since he married. You're kind of getting ahead of yourself, though. We're still on episode 4, technically, where we do have to mention, because Daemon comes back to court, blah blah blah, and Alicent goes around trying to figure out trying to convince Rhaenyra. I keep saying Rhaenyra. No, it's Rhaenyra.
To just do her duties, basically.
Yeah, because she is really taken to the role of queen.
Oh, yes. She's happy.
She's very prim and proper now.
Oh, yes. She had her first child. She's done.
and because of all this, their relationship is growing cold.
It's getting a bit strained, yes.
Gonna escalate later.
Doesn't help that Daemon comes back and lures Rhaenyra to go out into the, city at night, looking like a boy.
the red light district, so to speak.
Basically, yeah. Is it a Silk District or something? Or Silk
I think it's
Street
called
or
that.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get the first, because we haven't really had proper incest yet.
No, which is a big part of Game of Thrones, especially Targaryens.
Especially Targaryens and their bloodlines.
Yeah.
But we do get a little bit of that, because he entices her, I suppose.
There's a lot of teasing, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was super weird.
Yes.
But at the same time...
Because he's got to be quite a lot older than her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the characters and the actors as well.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's adult. Let's say that, at least.
Yes, of course.
No foul play there.
No. But still.
But yeah, it's the first time, and you go like, yeah, here we go, and that's where it starts, and yep,
yeah,
this is what we've been waiting for, basically. But he doesn't really do too much, to be honest.
No, he just it's a little bit of tease,
which turns her on a lot, ending up with the biggest mistake: her sleeping with Sir Cole.
Yeah, which is, and I was like, yes, when that happened, because obviously they were the best characters. They really seemed to like each other.
They had chemistry
were building that up
from the beginning,
and I was like, oh my god, yeah,
Yeah, and then we get to episode 5.
She's going to be this rebel queen, where
she marries a commoner. And
exactly, her
Kingsguard or whatever.
Yeah.
But no,
that's where the episode. No, well, the episode ends with Alicent finding out, right?
No, I think that's the beginning of the next episode. I don't remember exactly. However, in episode 5, everyone knows, or at least a few people knows.
Well, yeah, a few people know. Alicent knows.
But word started getting around.
No, that's the end of the 4th episode. Because in the fifth episode is the wedding. Because that's
right.
That's when Rhaenyra and Cole, when Alicent finds out Cole is about to he's about to commit suicide because he has broken his sacred vow.
Yes.
It's a vow of chastity when you're a Knight's Guard or something.
Yeah.
A King's Guard.
King's Guard. When you're
white cloak. I've sullied my white cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she's like, don't. Which I wonder why she stops him. Because it feels like she's doing it out of like pity or affection. But also like maybe she needs him as leverage in the future, maybe.
Yeah.
Because she very quickly became so cold and cunning and scheming.
Yes.
It feels like.
I think it's a bit of both. She definitely wants him around to prove it if it ever comes to fruition that she can, but also perhaps just to tease Rhaenyra a bit, or wink wink, I know what you did. Wink wink, I have proof.
Exactly.
I can blackmail you, basically. But then, we get the fact that Rhaenyra goes, you know what? No. I know who I'm gonna marry, and it's a good match for everyone. Everyone's gonna be happy. She picks, what's his name? The Valerius boy.
Yes, Valerian.
Laenor?
Laenor, yeah.
Laenor, right, yeah. Laenor Valerian.
And his sister, Laena, who we'll talk about later.
Yes.
Which is her cousin, which is
yes.
Yeah, which is the way
she's because they're cousins by marriage, right?
No,
he's the daughter of her.
The king's sister is his mother.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Yes,
because she's married to the main Valerian guy. Who is
Corlys?
The king. Corlys, yes, thank you. Corlys, exactly. There's so many names!
Yeah, and everyone ends with Is or E
and this is just,
or something.
This is just a fraction of all the characters that's in Game of Thrones.
Sorry.
So.
Yeah, and if you want to throw in the dragons, it's even worse.
Oh, yeah.
But that marriage arrangement seems pretty good as well, because...
Yes, because they have... There's a perfect arrangement. Because,
understanding.
Homosexuality has a very weird role in... the Game of Thrones world, or the Song of Ice and Fire world, because it seems to be more or less accepted and understood by everyone, but not in traditions.
No.
No one is like, oh, fucking fag or whatever. No one seems to be. They just don't talk about it when it comes to tradition, like
when it comes to marriage or succession.
Yeah,
that's
which
when
is
they're like
super weird. But no one is a homophobe.
No.
I mean, of course, just light jabbing here and there, but no one is like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah,
you know.
They don't burn people for being homosexuals.
Yeah. So it's super weird that everyone's just so accepting, but you gotta marry a woman if you're a king or a queen or whatever, you know.
I mean, I can understand sort of why, because you need to have children to continue on the line of succession.
Yeah, I suppose. It's still weird.
It should be like...
They should have just written all the characters more homophobic then. It just makes more sense. Because it's tradition. And have a few characters be more accepting.
I guess if someone is a homosexual, they should have been like, well, you know what? I'm not gonna accept my role as king or queen or whatever, because I have other interests. So please pick my sister or brother or whoever else wants it. Bye.
Yeah.
But they're not really cool with that. They're like, no, you're chosen. Accept it.
Yes, I just find it very strange how they handle homosexuality. Yeah, in the show,
it's very accepting, but it's not.
Not really. Yeah.
Either way, that whole part seems pretty happy for the most of that episode.
Yeah, because they both decide to they'll please their parents and make a strong bond.
Yeah, and they'll try for children.
Yeah, but, they'll have, they'll both be free to pursue other interests, so to speak. Yeah. Since they're both okay with it,
It's not cheating if both are okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. They're in a polyamorous relationship then. Which is fine. Yeah.
If both is fine, that's fine.
Yeah, and that is also perfect, because then she can marry the person, or a person that her father wants, but she can also be with the person she wants to be at this point.
Yes.
Kristen Cole. And Leonor can continue to be with... Well,
Carl?
He doesn't have a... Well, there's the guy. Yeah, yeah.
Carl with a Q.
Oh, right.
I hate his name.
Carl
with a Q.
Carl, yeah.
And a little detail in that episode that just has to be mentioned because it doesn't make sense otherwise. In the previous episodes, we mentioned that... Daemon has a wife in the Vale.
Yes.
Where they have the moon door in the Game of Thrones.
Yes.
In the beginning of this episode, he straight up just goes there and kills her. And
out of fucking nowhere, yeah.
Basically, out of nowhere. And that's that. They just oh shit, we need to kill his wife.
Exactly. It feels like housekeeping. Like, we need to get this out of the way so he can marry Lena and keep going on with his whore wife, as they keep calling her.
Yeah.
Who's not really a character anymore.
No, she left. She got mad when he proclaimed that she would get pregnant, and she was like, I can't, you bastard.
Oh, right.
So fuck you, I'ma leave.
Which is sad, because she was played by... what's her name?
I do not remember her.
Sonoya Mitsuno, who she is
that's right.
one of the robots in Ex Machina, and she has the lead role in Alex Garland's show Devs, which I thought was a really good
that we
show.
Started watching.
Yeah,
or you made me start watching.
Yeah, I really liked it up until the last episode, which was like, oh, that's it. Oh,
I haven't continued, so we'll see about that.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So that was sad to see her removed from the show, but whatever.
But then we have the wedding.
Yes, which is the big part. It's the wedding, where for some reason, Kristen is already a little bit on edge, because he's obviously a very jealous person, even though he shouldn't be.
Yes.
Because he knows what he's getting into, but I guess he just can't help himself. He's such a pure person,
Actually, I think he's kind of... Honestly, he's the worst of them, because he's greedy. What was that?
I think it was just... It sounded like knocking.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on my door.
Oh.
Super weird. Anyway.
No, but he feels kind of greedy somehow, because first of all, yes, he's pure when he's like, oh shit, I saw you in my cloak, I need to kill myself, and Alicent's like, no, you can stay, I'll clear your name or whatever.
Oh.
But then he's like, okay, so now I'm gonna live. Now she's mine.
Well,
or if anyone touches her, I'm gonna kill them, basically.
Well, yeah, of course, yes, which is, that's the jealous part.
Yeah.
But he's, he is reluctantly accepting of it during the marriage, during the wedding, yeah, like...
Until...
yes, until for some reason, Carl with a Q...
yes.
No.
Yeah, no, it is Carl with a Q.
It is, yeah, who's like...
He points, nudges him and goes like, "Oh, this is good for both of us, isn't it?" Or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, now we can both have fun with our respective partners, which of course sends him into a fucking frenzy.
It's like he's in denial or something.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. He knows that he is obviously like madly in love or whatever
infatuated or whatever.
Infatuated with Rhaenyra. But that he's at odds then with this solemn vow he took, a lifelong vow of chastity and like honor towards the Kingsguard, and he's broken that over whatever. It's obviously not on my door, because then they would just ring the bell if I'm not answering. So I don't know. Maybe they're knocking in the walls. I don't know. Whatever.
Talk too loud.
Yeah. So he's very torn at this point. So they then have stupid Carl with the Q go like, hey, I guess we both have fuck buddies now, huh? Whoa! And they're marrying each other. Isn't that great? Of course, yeah.
It sends him over the edge.
It sends him over the edge. It's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
And he literally bashes Carl's face in. I mean, there's a hole in his head in the end of that scene. I think it's
Carl. No, but wait, Carl's still there. Is it someone else?
He kills Carl.
Yeah, but there's a Carl in the 7th episode. Is that, or am I confusing them? Are they two different people that I just call Carl?
Maybe, yeah, because he kills Laenor's lover.
Hold up.
And I'm pretty sure someone else, like, is the guy who nudges him.
No, but he attacks the guy who nudges him. Either way, you know what? They're both Laenor's lovers. I'm gonna call them both Carl for now, because I can't figure out who's who.
Yeah.
The fuck? Whatever. You know who I mean.
Yeah, so there's Panic at the Disco.
Yes.
And the Ku Klux like, oh well.
This isn't even the wedding, though. This is like the engagement party.
Right. But isn't the ceremony supposed to take place later that day?
Later that week, I think. They're like gonna have a week of parties or something.
Oh, of course, yes.
Or several days.
Every party is a week long in King's Landing.
Oh, and we also have Alicent's like entrance of treason when she comes in wearing all green, which is the color of the Hightowers.
Oh, yeah.
Very wrong to wear on the wedding of a Targaryen and a Valerian. She should have worn red, as is their colors, since she is now technically a Targaryen.
Yeah, but
no, she goes all green and like causes a scene.
But that's also because it was her father, the Hand, Otto Hightower, who he told her. Oh, he told her
because he had spice. He has birds.
Spice
almost.
in the silk district or whatever.
The city.
Yeah, of course. So she found out about. Well, he found out about.
Rhaenyra and Daemon.
Daemon, yeah, or Rhaenyra and someone.
And someone, yes.
Yeah, not actually having sex.
But it looked
like
it.
Yeah. Which is very annoying. But then later that night, she actually has sex with another person. So Otto knows about it, but not actually.
Right. This is where it gets messy. Because he knows that someone did it, and he talks to the king about it, and the king goes, fuck you, and you're dismissed, basically.
Yeah, you're exiled.
Because that's slander.
It's treason.
Alicent figures it out by, like, she asks Cole.
Kristen.
Yeah, because
he's supposed to stand guard.
Did you see anything? And he's like, oh shit, I did it, I'm sorry.
He thinks they're talking about them two having sex. And
because he doesn't know about the Daemon stuff.
Exactly. And
oh my god.
It's like a Seinfeld episode.
It's a bit messy, but we get there in the end.
Exactly.
And, of course, everyone is obviously on edge at that, like, engagement party or whatever.
Yeah, and that's why also she's wearing green in, like, to honor her father who has been exiled.
And, like, defy her
fired,
king,
basically.
sort of.
Yeah. The episode is called like "We Who Light the Way" or something. I like that. That was a good. That was
We Light the Way.
Yeah,
because that is what the Hightowers do. I think they light the way.
Exactly. But yeah, so it ends with a very rushed wedding ceremony.
Yes.
While the body's removed, but the blood is still on the floor, which is still, what the fuck?
And everyone else is ushered out. It's just whoever needs to be there.
And Laenor is just frantically crying while it's happening because his lover, the man he loved, has just been murdered. Now he has to marry his fucking cousin.
Yeah.
It is so fucked up.
Even though they read on it, it's weird.
Yeah, but it's a weird time to do it because he's obviously grieving.
Yeah,
it literally happened minutes ago.
Couldn't they have waited till the next day at least?
No. Well, no, they couldn't because during the ceremony the king collapses, and I was like, "Oh fuck, he's dead."
Right, now. This is where
they're
we find
writing
out that
Paddy Considine on the show. He's really sick.
He's really sick.
His deterioration is just keeps on going.
Yeah,
because that's the end of the 5th episode. We go into the 6th episode where
the princess and the queen.
Yeah, where we time travel 10 years.
Yes, and we have the older actresses for Alicent and Rhaenyra.
Yes,
which I like the actress for Alicent. I think that's a great casting. They look similar enough, and they act similar enough, and it fits. However, I do not like the actress for Rhaenyra.
No,
they don't seem like the same person enough.
Yes,
neither it's looks or mannerisms.
She feels older somehow.
Yes,
I don't know if that makes any sense.
She might be.
I don't know. The actress, I don't remember her name, but she's
Emma Darcy.
Yeah, she's not older, really.
She's born in 92. She's only a couple of years older than me.
Yeah, so she's not too old, but it's just something about her mannerisms.
Yeah, she feels like 30 plus. Well, in the movie,
well, she's supposed to be 25?
Ish?
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't quite match. And I gotta say, since we have spent so much time with this little cluster of characters for the first 5 episodes, to all of a sudden have who was, up until a point, my favorite character, Rhaenyra, and just switch out that actress, it was just what the fuck, basically.
Yeah.
It was oh, come on. So I did not like the beginning of the 6th episode.
Because, to be honest,
it was
from
such a
episode
switch.
6, it feels like a new season almost.
A little bit, yeah.
Because we have new dynamics. The relationship between Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole is completely gone, obviously. But
which is also I understand why.
Sure, but they could have at least. They don't even have tense moments looking at each other or something. That just obviously disappeared over the years.
Yeah. Alicent and Rhaenyra haven't talked basically in the last 10 years.
No,
other than of course in
when they have to,
and when they have to, exactly.
There's a bunch of children who are born.
Yes, all of Rhaenyra's children, dark-haired children.
Yes.
Which first I thought
she starts the episode with giving birth to her 3rd child, right?
Yes. And Alicent literally minutes after birth wants her to show the child off, which is though very cool because that's a one shot through the entire up the steps and past all the actors and everything. Really cool one shot. Yeah. Which if we just quickly, once again, to bash some more Game of Thrones. That show is shot in a very plain way. There's a lot of master shots of just people sitting in rooms and talking, and wide shots when they're fighting. There's not a lot of energy in the cinematography, but I get it because they want to catch everything, and it's a TV show, so they can't spend fucking hours on setting up these weird
and they have
shots.
500 people that are always going to be on set in shot.
Exactly. Problem is then that if you're not super enthralled by all the characters and dialogue, like I wasn't, you quickly realize how boring the show looks.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
not
a bit
the sets
plain.
anything, but the cinematography is just
Yeah.
like. So watching House of the Dragon, which usually every episode has one of those like cool shots.
Oh, yeah.
Either it's a one shot, or there's a change of perspective, or there's always something going on. It's a really, really good looking show.
Yes.
Back to the episode.
Yes. So this episode we have a bunch of children running around, and we get the whole whispers about the Rhaenyra's children not being legitimate. Which herself and Laenor, they don't really like acknowledge that.
No, they
are both
100% deny
100%,
it.
yeah, because
they know what it means to have bastard children. It's treason,
And the king doesn't really want to acknowledge it either. He goes, well, you know what? We've had dark-haired people in our family before. It's possible, kind of thing.
But you kind of get...
He knows, but he doesn't want to admit it.
But he's almost even more in denial.
Yes.
He's like,
which
what are you
Alicent
talking
fucking
about?
hates. She's so annoyed with him.
But because this has been like this festering wound between her and Rhaenyra for over 10 years now.
Well, for 10 years, basically, as soon as she found out that Rhaenyra had sex with someone.
But even before that, when Alicent married Viserys,
that's true.
that was when she started like
yeah.
Because then first of all, it's weird that your best friend marries your dad.
Yes.
So that kind of drove a little bit of a
wedge,
a spike in between them, yeah, and that have only grown over the years. They have a brief moment of like coming together again, but then all the things with Kristen happens, and then 10 years pass, and it is just ice cold between them. It's
a dumb marriage for Alicent, because no matter what she does, her children will never be kings or queens, since Rhaenyra is already the successor. Yeah, which
to the
also
throne. Because she once again building on her character, because she really takes to the role of queen. Yeah, that irks her a little bit, and then to find out that Rhaenyra's children are bastards, and that they're gonna if no one tells the king or whoever, they're gonna put a bastard child on the throne at some point.
Yeah.
When her legitimate Targaryen children will forever suffer in the background,
which, however,
that must drive her insane. Of course,
I just want to point out how dumb that is. I know everyone knows this, but yes, she's married as a Targaryen, but she is a Hightower. There's no pure Valyrian blood in her veins.
No, but her children are.
Sure,
because her children have Valyrian blood running in their veins.
That Rhaenyra's kids too, because she's a Targaryen.
Yes, but there's this thing where her children have the dark hair.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
The thing. They really, everyone has the white, beautiful hair.
But that's only to distinguish them.
And her children are legally legitimate Targaryens.
That's the thing. They're legally.
Yeah, they're not bastards. That's the whole thing. They hate bastards.
Hate it
in Game of Thrones as well. Yeah. Which I find highly offensive, since I'm a bastard myself.
Yes, you are.
I'm triggered, and I'm going to sue HBO. Yeah.
In Game of Thrones, they do legitimize a bunch of bastards over the time.
Yes.
They could have just done that. But then they have to admit it.
So, yeah, exactly. They have to admit it first.
And they don't want to admit it.
No. So...
I barely remember what this episode is, except for the whole... Everyone is just mad and talking about how, Rhaenyra's new child is also a bastard, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Then there's the children teasing each other.
Oh yeah, because 3 out of 4 have dragons.
Yeah, Aegon's little brother, who I don't know the name of, there's no dragon for him.
Yeah, Aemond, right?
Aemond, yes. And even the bastard children get dragons.
Yeah. But it's just that his egg just didn't hatch.
Something like that, yeah. I'm not quite sure. It's a typical HBO thing where they gloss over details.
Yeah.
Which I don't care, but sometimes it's but I do.
Because Daemon's and Laena's children, one of them also doesn't have a dragon because her egg hasn't hatched yet.
Yes.
And to point out, Laena has the biggest, baddest dragon in the world.
She's literally the biggest dragon in the world.
I can't remember the name of him.
I I haven't put the dragon's
Viserys,
names in my
Varys,
memory.
something. Everyone
Something
is
like
that way, you know.
Yeah.
Big ass dragon.
Yeah, and once again, really cool shot of them.
Oh yeah.
Just having a show, basically a dragon show. For the people who like house them, because they live with the other people.
Well, they live with her family in oh no, what's it called? Driftmark?
No, they don't.
Yeah, they usually do, but they're visiting Pentos, I think.
Pentos, right? No, but they live in Pentos
for the time being. Technically,
but they've been there for years.
Yeah, but you know that's the whole really thing. their home though.
No,
he offers them a permanent resident, and they're hesitant.
Yes. Oh, yes. But yeah, they're living there.
Sure.
They haven't been back to Driftmark or King's Landing in years.
Sure.
All their children have been born in Pentos, I'm pretty sure. And the oldest one is like 9 or 10 or something.
No, I think they were born at home, but they moved shortly after.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because she mentions, I want my new child to be born at home as well. So.
Oh, that's true.
But then she goes into labor.
Yeah. We're skipping over though an important part where we find out that, of course, since Rhaenyra's bastards are not Kristen's children.
No.
Which they don't say outright, but you find out that pretty quickly because he fucking hates her at this point.
Yes. Oh no!
Once again, these 10 years have just really driven them apart to the point where they hate each other. Or I guess he hates her more than she hates him.
Right. The father of her children is a gold cloak called Sir Harwin Breakbone Strong.
Yes, the Strongs. Yes. Which
he's
they
like
her
personal guard or something.
Yeah, they're barely in the show before this, and you're like, it's the guy from before, but all of a sudden he's the father of her children. Okay,
Lord Lionel Strong is part of the. He sits at the table. Yeah, he's part of the small council. He does suggest. Oh no, he is expected to suggest a marriage between his son and Rhaenyra, but he doesn't actually do it. He suggests the Lannister, right? I think it's at the Aemon's second birthday or something.
And he is the hand of the king after Otto Hightower is thrown out. Yeah.
Yes.
And then rumors have been stirring, and it kind of comes to a head during the sword training with the children.
Yes.
Where Kristen is just actively hostile towards Rhaenyra's children.
Because he's for some reason teaching them.
Huh?
He's the teacher for some reason.
Yeah, because he's the king's guard. He's the best of the.
That's true. Fighter. I guess he is, and he favors obviously the Targaryen children, the king's children.
Yeah,
or the king's
sons. He hates everything about Rhaenyra. That means her children as well.
Yeah,
and the strong guy is just like, "Hey, stop that!" And he like kind of shows his hand. Hand. And everyone's like, "Oh, you're being very protective of these random children, huh? Shut up, you!"
I mean. I find that was a bit exaggerated because we know from the brief scenes we've had that he is very close with the queen, the princess and her family. Obviously, he seems to be their like close protector, and you can blatantly see that the Cole is literally ignoring her boys, the princess. Yeah. Instead, he favors Aegon and Aemond. And when he's like told that you're ignoring them, he like makes Aegon and Aemond attack them, not train them, attack them.
The problem is that it's not. What is the strong guy's name? Strong something.
Harwin.
No, Harwin. Lionel is his father, right?
Yeah.
It is not Harwin Strong's place to intervene.
No, that's true.
But he does because it's his children.
Yeah.
And everyone knows it.
I still find it a bit like, come on, they could have built that up a little bit more.
Yes, they could have, definitely. Like I said, it feels like this show is rushing a little bit.
Well, they do.
And it feels like there's going to be more time jumps before.
Yes, I can already see that from the trailer to the next episode, which premieres for when we're recording it tomorrow.
Yes.
They seem to have jumped a few more years, yes.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the plan is to have however many seasons this is going to be. Even though I like this tangent again, sorry. Even though I at this point like this a lot more than Game of Thrones, I can't see this becoming like a 7-8 season long show. I don't get that feeling from it. It feels like but it's very successful though. So
it depends on what they're trying to achieve.
Exactly, and that's what I'm wondering. Because
are they trying to like tell the entire story from King Viserys, the first Targaryen, till Daenerys Stormborn is born?
Yeah. Or
are they just going to talk about until like which one was the Mad King?
Oh,
Aegon the Mad?
I think it's called Aegon as well. Yeah, which is kind of funny.
Is it the same Aegon or is that another Aegon? I don't know.
No, it can't be him because he can't be 150 years old.
Fuck
yeah. Yeah.
So it's a bit.
What I've read is that it's going to deal with and this is something that's been in the lore since the old books or the original books. It's gonna deal with the Targaryen War of Succession. So it's going to become a show about a war. It's just going to be like a civil war between like the different factions of Targaryens. Who once again, it's going to be a Game of Thrones. Who actually gets to sit on the throne is what it's going to be about. So it's like, oh, we already did this.
Well, that makes sense technically, I suppose.
Yeah, but I wonder how long that story will take to tell, because the Game of Thrones show takes place over like 10 years, basically. Yes. It's 8 seasons, and it's about 8 to 10 years.
They do jump a little bit between seasons.
Yeah, but it's like not
a year or two max.
Yeah.
Here we've jumped 10 years in between episodes.
Exactly. So I'm wondering if they're going to do bigger jumps, and it's going to take place over 200 years.
Either way, this episode ends with the death of Laena, right?
First, you have Lionel and Harwin Strong leaving for Harrenhal. Kind of, because rumors keep circling, and the king is told, and he's like, "No, that's a silly rumor.
Yeah,
I'll give them Harrenhal, and they can leave." Basically,
yeah, they find a solution that works for both of them to just get out of there.
Yeah. And then you have the weird guy with a cane.
Yes, he is also a strong.
He's a strong.
Yes, he is the little brother of Harwin.
Right, because he had been in the show before, but I just didn't know how to place him. And I was like, why is he a character all of a sudden? I was getting Game of Thrones vibes all of a sudden.
No, he is the brother of Harwin Strong.
Oh,
but he's crippled, so he's not a sir. He's not a knight. He has issues with his legs or something.
Yeah, so he
conspires and spies.
Yeah,
instead.
he feels like Littlefinger or the Spider or whatever they're called. No, in the original show.
Yeah, what's his name? The bald guy, isn't it? Varys,
yes.
not Viserys. Varys. See again with the names.
And Peter Baelish is the other guy.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a like schemer.
Yes, he's the first of those. It feels like.
Yeah.
Well, or predecessor, I suppose.
So he knows what's going on. And he also knows that he can curry favor with the Queen if he suggests that they get rid of Harwin and Lionel. And also, that gives him carte blanche to kill his family, whom he doesn't seem to like that much.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of been,
they can reinstate Hightower as the Hand again.
Yes.
Because who would otherwise be a Hand? They can't just choose a new one. They have to have someone who knows what happens.
Exactly. And then we once again have someone who knows about the treason in the midst of the council. Yeah, but it feels a little like I get why he would do it, like, but also I don't really get why he cares.
Oh no, he's got a longer game in mind.
It feels like that. He has some plans.
Definitely.
Like several season arcs long plans, that he is setting in motion.
We can, just skipping slightly ahead here, we noticed that very clearly in episode 7 in the end there. Just saying. But, yes, the Strongs die, and Otto Hightower is reinstated as the Hand, basically. Off-screen, obviously.
Yeah, of course, because it's HBO.
Yeah.
And then
Lena goes into labor. But it doesn't end well.
Yeah, Lena, Damon's wife, over in Pentos. Yeah.
And she's
Lenor's sister. Played by... what's her name? Clara Bella something?
Oh no, I can't find her now. But...
Who? I just want to point it out because she's actually a Swedish actress. Where is?
Nanna Blondell.
Nanna Blondell. Yes, thank you, Nanna Blondell. Who?
That's true. That's her.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
she
I know
has.
her.
She's done some movies and TV shows, but she's probably, at least for me, she is mostly known as one of the main characters in the very old YouTube sketch Negerboll.
Yeah, by Poesi för fiskar.
Yeah, which is
we've talked about that before.
Yes, we've talked about Crazy Pictures is what they're called. Poesi för fiskar or Poetry for Fishes is the sketch show that they did.
Yeah, but she was also in a kid show that I watched, Livet enligt Rosa. That's where
I right. Yeah, so it was kind of funny to see her. So like, that's the girl from like the coolest YouTube video ever made.
Yeah.
But it was kind of sad that she dies in that episode. I was like, oh. Because I thought that she was going to be in this big HBO production, but no, one episode.
Yeah,
too bad.
Unfortunately.
Anyway, yeah.
She has the most badass death, though.
Yes, she gets roasted by her own dragon.
She convinces her dragon to kill her.
Yeah, because she finds out that there's complications with the birth, right?
Well, she can feel it, literally.
Oh,
the child does not come out; it's stuck.
Yeah,
as per we've seen in the first few episodes.
Yeah, we know how they deal with that. They do a very primitive C-section, which kills the mother. Like,
because they don't know how to handle
chance
that.
of survival. Yeah,
and they can't even promise that the child will survive.
Yeah, it's not so much a C-section as it is just cutting open the stomach. Yeah. She's like, nah, fuck it, and barbecues herself to death.
Yes,
which is like. Kind of cool, though, because the child dies as well. At that point, it is a child, people. I don't care what you say. Sure,
it's in labor. That is a child. Yes, I agree. She does, however, point out earlier in that episode that she wants to die a true death or something, like a warrior's death. Basically, she wants to die with she wants to die with a dragon. Basically,
yes, she is a dragon rider. This is,
she rides the biggest dragon.
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
So I guess this is as close as she can get to a true death, or an honorable death in her eyes. Because dying in childbirth is kind of lame.
I suppose. But also leaving
two children
behind, and a husband who he seemed to actually kind of care for her.
Maybe
not super love her, but he cared for her at least.
Yeah,
he seems actually a little upset.
Yeah. He's still very cold towards the children, but he does have one of them he likes because she has a dragon, I think.
Yeah.
He does favor the one who has hatched her dragon, which is weird.
Yes.
But that leads to the messiest episode so far.
Yes,
episode 7, Driftmark.
Yes, which starts with the burial of Lena, a funeral. Yes, the funeral of Lena,
which is also kind of a cool
Driftmark.
Kind of a cool funeral.
Yeah, it's a funeral at sea, but it's not a boat. They just throw her off a cliff.
They put her in stone and let her rest on the bottom of the ocean amongst everyone else that have been thrown into the ocean over there.
Because you didn't really see, but then it's like, oh yeah, they just dropped everyone off the same place. There's a bunch of old coffins there.
It looks cool though.
Yeah, it looks cool. And this is the kind of episode where a lot of just like with the wedding 10 years earlier, here's where a lot of like stuff comes up to the surface. It culminates.
I suppose it's because they all are on the same spot. They're at the same place for too long, probably. It's not a good thing for them.
The king is blissfully in denial. Alicent is hella mad.
Yeah.
Laenor is once again during a ceremony. His last time they had a ceremony, his lover was murdered. This time they're burying his sister, so he's just gone.
Yeah, we barely see him in the episode. When we do, he's standing in the ocean, just crying.
He's drunk out of his mind, standing in the ocean. Just crying his eyes out.
No, who else? Rhaenyra is just standing around. She doesn't do much at first.
She doesn't. Yeah, she has other things to worry about.
True.
Since the rumors of infidelity has, they're spreading more and more.
She does nudge her son to comfort his cousins, Daemon's daughters.
Yeah.
Which they mention it, or they mention in that episode that there is there will be a marriage somewhere between cousins.
Yes.
If it's between Viserys' sons or Rhaenyra's sons to Daemon's daughters, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Yeah.
One of the boys, the blondes or the brown-headed boys, will marry Daemon's daughters.
Yeah, and this is also when Rhaenyra meets Daemon for the first time in like 10 years.
Yes,
or at least many years.
Yes. And they get to talking.
Yes, and that's there's some other stuff with the children going on. We'll get to that, but the big thing in this episode is that even from the first episode, Rhaenyra and Daemon were always kind of flirting,
well, they were close.
He was, yeah.
Yes.
I remember even in the first scene, the first time we see those characters, it's just like he's sitting on the throne. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, they're the only ones to speak Valyrian. He gives her a necklace.
Yeah, and it's like
it's very intimate somehow.
Yeah, and he's the one. They're not flirting back and forth. He's kind of flirting or coming on to her, but she is reciprocating, even if it's a little standoffish.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the stuff that happened in the Silk District and everything. But I never got the feeling that she actually liked him in that way. But then,
not until I mean, the Silk District, you kind of know, oh, she's really into this.
But I think it's just because she's horny.
That was horny. Like, oh, she's turned on. That's it. Yeah. She doesn't care who she's getting it on with. She just needs someone.
Basically, yeah.
Which ended up with Kristen Cole, but that fucked up completely.
Yeah. But here, they actually seem to not just be horny. They'll actually
they care for each other.
Affectionate, yeah. More than an uncle and a niece should.
Yes.
Because this is where we go full-on Targaryen.
Yes.
And they have sex on the beach. Not drinks. Yes. Actual coitus.
Yes.
Under
a log? For some random reason? Not finding
some weird, it looked like almost like a hollowed-out boat.
Or
turned
something.
upside down or something, yeah. And it feels that, once again, she's doing it partly because she wants to, but also partly because eventually they can then marry, and all this talk about bastards can be just put to bed, because then she can have legitimate Targaryen children.
Yeah, and even if they won't be the ones who are ascending the throne, she can just at least well, I do have blonde children. Exactly, didn't have to do with the fact that it's with another blonde dude, so it's not that. That's not the issue. It's not me. That's the issue, or something.
Exactly. But it's also,
he's still a little bit standoffish, though. Like he wants it, but he's not affectionate.
No, I don't think that's.
It's more political for him.
Yeah. And it's also where I kind of stopped liking her, because at this point,
yes,
she's I get it. She's in a tough spot. But it's also, like now she's almost trying to like play the game that Alicent has been playing for a while. Like, start playing the game as well. Like, oh, so you're trying to out my bastard children? Well, I'll fuck my uncle and make legitimate Targaryen children, and fuck you.
I almost felt like she gave up her powers there. She like, yeah, well, he'll be my queen consort, and he can just rule. I don't want to give it to him, sort of.
Yeah, a little bit like that. And she's but I always hoped that, you know, yeah, the truth would come out eventually, but that truth would be accepted.
Yes.
But instead, no. Instead, she joins in the scheming, and, you know, she starts playing the Game of Thrones, basically.
Because despite having told that one lie, well, it's not a lie.
Yes.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Despite having, like, sort of avoided the question of her first lover, she doesn't tell a lie, she just avoids it by, you know, she admits it's not Daemon, but she doesn't tell her that there is someone else. Yeah. She's never been one to scheme, really.
Exactly, but now she starts doing it. Yes. And she does it in the most Targaryen way possible, by having sex with a relative.
Going even further, if you want to be technical about it, because they marry as well.
Oh yeah, they marry in the episode.
Last scene is that they marry each other.
Right, which then, you know, you can't just. There's no such thing as divorce in this world. So
and the whole having several husbands and wives is sure, but it's not when you're a king or queen. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, and it's also like a woman can't have several husbands.
No, that's true.
A man can have several wives, though.
Yeah,
because, you know, patriarchy and sexism and stuff. Anyway, yeah. So they also make a plot to kill Laenor, and I was like, oh no, Rhaenyra, what are you doing? Basically,
you guys had a good thing going. Why would you do this?
Yeah, but he also confesses that he is completely checked out of their marriage. He hasn't even tried to keep appearances up for like years at this point. He does
say, though, that he is willing to try. He is willing to send off Carl to fight in the whatever it was, where the Crab King was.
Yeah.
And he's gonna stay here, and he's gonna be a faithful husband and father and take care of their children. She even says, like... That's when they first acknowledge it, that they say it out loud, that, yeah, they're not yours, but I'm gonna treat them as mine.
Yes, that's true. And then she just goes, no, we'll kill him.
Backstabbing.
Me and my incestuous uncle will kill him. Yeah.
Luckily, Uncle has a plan of his own.
Yeah.
He grabs some random dude, and, they have this little plan which makes it so that Laenor can run away with Carl in the middle of the night, shaving off his locks and just running away.
Yeah, they have a fake fight because, you know, they're so upset with each other.
Yeah, they need witnesses, obviously, that he's dead.
Yeah, and Laenor is thrown into the fire.
Conveniently enough, the head is burned up.
Yes, because that's the other kid that they just grabbed, that Daemon grabbed and killed.
Yeah.
So Carl flees to the sea with a
freshly shaven Laenor.
Yeah, with Laenor, yeah. And Rhaenyra can then marry Daemon.
In good faith, I suppose. Which they kind of do. It feels like a secret because they do it on their own with just their children and a priest. And like another monk dude.
Well, I think it's because it's kind of weird to do it like literally the same night as her husband dies. So they just want to get it over with. It's a legitimate wedding, but we're not going to tell anyone.
Not yet.
Not yet, exactly.
They do it in like the old traditional way.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a cool ceremony, to be honest. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, sure.
But we do have to talk about the children and the fighting in the cave and Aemon's conquest, I suppose.
Yes, because since he was never able to get a dragon, now there's a dragon up for grabs since Lena died.
There is mentioned in an earlier episode that Lena, like, she doesn't say that her dragon hatched, she found her dragon.
Okay.
it's just mentioned really quickly, and I believe that's what they mean then, that she didn't hatch the egg. It's not her egg. She just found a dragon and domesticated it, sort of.
Okay.
Not sure. That's how I interpreted it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Aemon takes advantage of that, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But Aemon takes advantage of that, because he realizes, well, that dragon doesn't have a rider now. So, how about I go check it out?
Yeah.
The biggest, baddest dragon in the world, and I'm just gonna walk up to it.
Which he does.
And it works.
It works. He gets on it. It takes a little while, but he manages to take control of it.
Yeah.
During a fucking awesome scene. Which
so
just,
cool.
it was like, I know what you call it. It was like, I white knuckled. I was like holding on to my seat as I was watching it, because it really felt like he was going to fall off. Because I was
yes,
they're going to. I mean, this is Game of Thrones. They can kill children. I don't care. You know.
My immediate thought was, why did he not tie himself to that fucking saddle? There's ropes. Yeah. Just tie it around your waist, dude. But no, he's fine. Luckily, and he becomes high on power.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, I have the greatest dragon in the world.
Yeah. So when he lands it, and the sisters, Lady Bela and Rhaena, still terrible names, I cannot, I hate all these names. They're super mad because the one who didn't have a dragon yet, she's like, but that dragon was mine to inherit. Which, I guess.
He's but also, bitch, finders keepers. I mean,
which I can agree on.
Yeah, technically he's not wrong.
She should have gone for it, but she didn't. She went to bed.
So he's very. We're both.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
coughing, sneezing.
I don't know what's happening anymore. Sorry.
It's like allergies all over again.
Yeah.
However, that ends up with a fucking fist fight in the caves.
Yeah, we're both what were their
Jacaerys and
names?
Lucerys, the boys of Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra.
And then Bela and Rhaena.
And Aemon and Aegon.
No.
Are all there.
No,
No, Aegon
the
isn't
oldest
there.
boy isn't there. Because he's out drunk.
He's not there. Right.
He's off sleeping it off, basically, because the Hightower finds him drunk in a stairwell and leads him out.
Right. Yeah, so they all gang up on
Aemond.
Aemond. Yeah. And,
I mean, he pulls a stone, and he's ready to bash skulls. So Jacaerys or Jace, he pulls a knife.
It cuts him over the eye.
Yeah, he ends up. I think it's him, or if it's Luke, I don't remember. They're both curly-headed, brown-haired boys. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of them manages to cut Aemon's eye out, basically.
Yeah. And then there's a big gathering in the room where they're patching him up.
Yes.
And this is also where Alicent and Rhaenyra feels like for the first time they're kind of airing their grievances with each other without actually saying anything.
Yeah, because they're actually fighting for once.
Yeah, once again, someone brings up the bastard situation, right?
Yes, Aemon calls them bastards, which is why he pulls the Jace pulls the knife.
Right.
Because he gets really mad. And then when they're in there, he tells Rhaenyra, stop, Rhaenyra, that he called us bastards.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, that's slander towards, future king. So, losing an eye is that's worth it, I guess.
Yeah, but Alicent goes insane, I want to take one of your children's hands.
Fuck you. No, she wants an eye too.
Oh, she
wants
an eye
for an eye, dude. An eye for an eye.
Yeah, literally. Because now she just feels like, not only is there's been treason here, there are bastard children, but one of these bastard children cut out my legitimate Targaryen child's eye!
And everyone's just so fine with them. Everyone's...
Because everyone just keeps denying the fact that they are bastards.
Yeah.
And she's fucking fuming. So,
she grabs a knife.
And goes for the children.
Well, Yes, but Rhaenyra goes and steps in between, and it ends up with Alicent cutting her arm.
Yeah.
I want to point out, I tried to check this out before, or double check this before we started recording, but I couldn't find it. I think that's the knife that is used to try and kill Bran eventually in Game of Thrones. I think so. I'm not sure. If I'm completely wrong, sorry, but it looks, because they were so zooming in on details on it. I'm like, yeah, that's an important knife.
Yeah. At some point, though, so it's going to end up with the Lannisters then.
Because it is a Valyrian steel knife.
Oh, it is a Valyrian blade. Yes, that's true.
So I'm thinking it could be, because it's curved, it's got the whatever. Just want to point that out, that if it is...
Easter egg.
That's an Easter egg.
Yeah.
But the whole fight just ends with Alicent being, like, told off to shut the fuck up and sit down.
Yeah.
While her son is like, Mom, it's cool, I lost an eye, but I gained a dragon.
Yeah, exactly. He's a fucking badass now.
He's like, I'm fine. And I've seen a picture from the next episode when he's grown up. So yes, there's a time
older,
jump.
So
he looks badass.
Yeah.
Skinny, but badass.
Yeah, so it feels like we've done a very long episode. We're supposed to keep
4
this
episodes,
like
though,
half
so...
an hour. Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm okay with it. I'm just saying. It really feels like every episode seems to be like they keep building this bubbling anger and like fire between, of course, Alicent and Rhaenyra, and they're two parts of the family, because they're technically in the same family, but there's really a divide in that family between those two. So I'm guessing because now there's 8, 9, and 10 left.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that the season is going to end with the actual War of Succession starting, I think. I get that feeling.
It has to, almost. Specifically, since they're obviously going to jump a few years again.
Yeah, because they can't just keep doing this teasing, like, everyone is in denial of the bastard situation and everything. They have to... They actually have to get to the point where they start fighting over it, like, properly. Where the truth actually comes out. That I really hope that's what's happening, and they're not trying to stretch that into the next season. Because then I might, even though I like the show, I still eagerly anticipate every episode as they come out. If they're not getting somewhere by the end of this season, I'm like, I'm not gonna keep watching. Fuck that.
I have to be honest. I the first few episodes I was like, yes, new episode. I gotta watch. The last 2 now I've been like, first of all, I knew that they were gonna age them up, and I was like, okay, so we're losing 2 of my favorite actresses from this.
Yeah, that was a big problem, but I got over that now.
Yeah, sure, but then also they're introducing 5 children that we're gonna try and keep track of.
Yeah, I know.
Well, more technically, because we have Daemon's daughters as well, and there's Alicent's daughter, Helena, that we haven't talked about, because she's the one who just mumbles weird shit and plays with spiders.
Oh, right.
So, and she's betrothed to someone, I think, one of her cousins, I'm not sure. It's a bit messy, to be honest, so...
It's a mess. Yes, it's a big mess.
I think that's where we leave it, though, that it is currently a bit of a mess.
Yes. So far, it's under control. It doesn't feel like Game of Thrones yet. I mean, in a good way, it doesn't feel like Game of Thrones yet. But it's starting to get there, and I hope they
clear that up a little bit.
They tie it up with a good season ending in episode 10.
Yes.
And then hopefully we kind of start moving towards the actual War of Succession.
Yes. But we'll talk about that in the next episode, because by then we'll watched all 3 last episodes of this season.
Yeah, we'll do a wrap-up of season 1.
Yes.
And in between that, we might talk about the Dahmer TV show, because I've seen all but 1 episode at this point.
I'll have to catch up, but yes, that is probably the plan. October is a busy month for us.
I know. Yeah, because over on the spoiler cast, we're doing a lot of horror stuff. There's actually more movies we want to talk about than there are weeks in October. So
we'll see about how we'll fix that.
Yeah, we'll try to get around to it though.
Keep track of us on socials and here on YouTube and every other platform, and see how many episodes we release. That's all I can say.
Yes. And also I want to say thank you so much for listening. Like we said before, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene for exclusive episodes. Like at this point, literally hundreds of hours of exclusive content. And we will see you in the next episode. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.